All right, we're going to add and subtract vectors, and we're going to do this algebraically. But what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the idea of this form of AI plus BJ. So we're going to be looking at that form. And remember that this simply means that we're going to be looking at the horizontal component and B being the vertical component. Okay, so if I was to say, given V, negative 5I minus 4J, we can go ahead and say that V, if we write this as a vector, is just simply down 5 or left 5 and down 4, which is one easy way of writing that. And we can go ahead and also break down W. We can say, well, I know that W is going to be to the right 3 and down a total of 7. And those are the horizontal and vertical components. Now, the best thing we can do now is just graph those. So let's go ahead and take V. And V is going to be, I'll go ahead and change that over to green. I'm going to say is over to the 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is going to be our distance, our vector for V right here. Okay. Once we have that, I'm going to graph W. So W comes in, it is over 3 and down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. These are position vectors, so we do have to start from the origin, and there is W. Now, beforehand, what we did was we focused on graphing vectors geometrically on the coordinate grid, and we didn't really pay attention too much about the algebraic piece, but it's the same thing. When we graphed V plus W before, we started W at the end of V. So that's what we are going to do. I'm going to go to the terminal point of V, and I'm just simply going to say, well, I know that W is made up of a right 3 component and a down 7 component. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3 and down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this is now where W is. W was positional. And now we just took those positions, those components, and moved them over to do V plus W. Okay. Now, when we add those two together, we know that the outcome is going to be from the original point of V all the way to the end of that second vector that we added together. Well, let's go ahead and look at that point right there. It looks like it is 1, 2, or negative 2. And then it is down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Down 11. In other words, V plus W is equal to negative 2, negative 11. Well, how could we do that just a little bit easier? Well, how do we get negative 2 from negative 5 and 3? We add them together. So V plus W is simply, if I was to make my life easier, I could have just said negative 5 plus 3. And I could have easily said, well, how do I get that negative 11 from negative 4 and negative 7? I add them together, negative 4 plus negative 7. And notice that would give us negative 2 and negative 11. Now, how do I write that in the horizontal and vertical component that I'm looking for? Well, I just know that V plus W is simply going to be negative 2I minus 11J. And that's how I'd write that vector in algebraic form.